I'm Helen Slinger. I'm Executive Director at A4S, where I lead all of our work in the knowledge and learning space. And as part of that, I get the fantastic opportunity to be head judge for this competition, having done so for a number of years now. So really looking forward to that again this year. We're absolutely thrilled today to have Jason Pang join us for this information session. Jason was one of the winners in the 2025 competition earlier this year. So we're inviting him to share with you his first-hand experience of the competition. So really looking forward to hearing from you, Jason. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me today.
So why don't we start, Jason, with maybe a quick introduction from yourself? What were you studying when you joined the competition, and where?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're calling from. Thanks so much for coming today, and I'm really excited to share a little bit about my experience competing in the A4S International Case Competition last year. My name is Jason Pang. I'm in my final year in the Masters of Sustainability Management program at the University of Toronto. Prior to that, I completed my undergrad at the University of British Columbia, focused on environmental social governance, so very similar to sustainability and accounting and sustainable finance as well. But my focus was more on agricultural systems and sustainable food systems, which really influenced my entry at the A4S as well.
Great. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey from when you first came across the competition to ultimately winning on that day in Toronto?
Yeah, I learned about the competition actually a year prior when there was a few LinkedIn posts on the competition the year prior to mine. And I so thought that, oh, this was the annual competition. I'd be really interested in competing next year. So I saved it and um, unfortunately, it wasn't confirmed that I'd be doing my master's at the time, so I thought I'd just be sharing this opportunity to other undergraduate students that could have the opportunity to compete. But as I got into my master's program and I learned that both master's and undergraduate students could compete together in teams, I asked two friends from my alma mater, UBC, if they'd be interested in competing with me. So both myself, Janine, and Alyssa, we made up the team Enact Consulting, and this team came up with the name was created because the three of us were in a similar club together. We were in Enactus UBC, a social entrepreneurship club at my previous school. And we all three of us had a passion for sustainability. And I thought it'd be a fun competition to do together, even though we weren't in the same school or club anymore. And then so the case for last year was focused on decarbonization, specifically scope 3 decarbonization for the companies listed on the SDG 2000 list. And because my background was in sustainable food systems and sustainable agriculture, I really wanted to focus our entry. We did go through some few ideas, but at the end of the day, we had the most resources and the most research done on the sustainable agriculture area. And we decided to focus our case on agricultural biodigesters for AgriPer, one of Canada and North America's largest dairy cooperatives. So that was a how we got started in entering the competition.
Great. And I'm sure it wasn't all smooth along the way. I'm sure there was a number of challenges and opportunities to learn some new stuff. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about some of those challenges that you faced and how you overcame them.
For context, my both my bachelor's and my current master's are both bachelor's and master's in science. So definitely my experience and background is not in accounting or finance. So what really helped our team was having Melissa, who was an accounting major, and then Janine, who was a finance major, really help me fill those gaps and teach me along the way. It was very much learning from my peers, learning from the organization. I think Accounting for Sustainability, the International Case Competition, is a great case competition for competitors for all levels, whether this is your first time competing or whether you're an experienced case competitors. There's dedicated resources, mentors, and people to help you along the way. You'll never feel lost. And so I think it was a great time for me to explore something new, which was the agricultural biodigesters, and also learn from my peers and make mistakes. I asked them if I could take lead on the cost benefit analysis, which is one of the aspects that are required for your entry for the competition. And I'm glad I did because I was able to learn a lot by myself during this time, but also had the two of them mentor me and give me feedback on how we could better the cost benefit analysis. vice versa, I was able to teach them a lot more about the science behind agricultural biodigesters, and they were both they're very open to learning more about how to tackle sustainability and taking a look at climate risk and opportunities and doing cost benefit analysis in both more of the social side, which the two of them haven't ventured in before. So I think just that learning was a challenge, but it was a very fun challenge and very fruitful as well to be able to learn outside of the classroom.
So it sounds like that multidiscipline element of your team was really valuable, and you're able to capitalise on that, which is great. And obviously, as part of the case competition, we're really keen for people to enhance their career opportunities. Trying something different, real world opportunity in a real world scenario. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about that side of things for you. How do you feel this has impacted your career opportunities and your career development?
Of course, yeah. For me personally, I view sustainability very similar to medicine. So, as a doctor, there's different specializations. There's cardiothoracics, there's neurosurgery, there's emergency. And for sustainability, it's very similar in the sense where even though there's a set of standards that are applicable to everyone, you could really focus and dive deep in specific sectors. So the apparel sector, the finance sector, investments, Olam food ingredients is one that's very specific, raw foods. And so it was really great exposure for this competition as there was judges and mentors from all aspects of sustainability. And I was able to kind of get exposure through a very interactive workshop during the competition as well. And those gave me not only soft skills, but hard skills to bring along even after the competition as I am continuing my last years of my master's and I'm hoping to enter the workforce very soon. One really great opportunity I was also able to partake on was the internship opportunity. Although I wasn't able to successfully complete it due to some visa issues, I was able to complete some of the training and prior workshops to the internships, both with yourself and Cynthia. And that was a really eye-opening experience, being able to have a factory tour of one of the sites in Toronto for Olam Food Ingredients. I got to learn about the supply chain of the coffee bean industry from the moment a coffee bean, the green bean is shipped into the factory all the way to being heated up, being packaged, being shipped. All those logistics were very interesting, and those are things that I would have never learned within the classroom as well. One of the things that we are also talking a lot about in my master's is the um, extended extended producer responsibility, also known as EPR, and being able to see some of the innovations being done by Olam Food Ingredients about EPR and how they're approaching that was really great exposure that I honestly wouldn't have had if I sat in a classroom. So overall, just really great exposure, really great opportunities that I wouldn't have got otherwise. I definitely know that as I enter the workforce this upcoming year, these skills, both hard and soft, would help me along the way.
Fantastic. And you're absolutely right. I think one of the beauties of the competition is, unlike many others, is you get to choose which company you focus your entry on. More on that later. But that does allow you to get to know a lot about a particular sector. And we all got to see how silly we looked in hairnets as well, going around the factory tour. So that was great. I guess one final question, the thing that I think most students will want to hear from you is, can you share any tips on their developing their entries? So, some will be done case competitions before, others won't. It might be their first one. So what tips do you have for them?
hmm I think my biggest tip is to put yourself in the lens of the chief financial officer, the CFO. I think that's really important throughout the beginning of your ideation all the way to your final submission pitch, is to think of the perspective of the CFO. How would they feel about your submission? If you were the CFO, would you feel confident in this project going through to your company? If yourself you don't feel confident about your idea, I don't think the CFO would be confident either. So during that whole ideation process, Melissa, Janine, and I, we always had the perspective of the CEO. And during our pitch as well, we didn't even pitch to the A4S judges. We just pitched, focused on the CFO of the company, really role playing and really researching the policies of AgroPer, which is the company that we targeted. And we also try to take a look at some of the sustainability targets and the benchmarks that AgroPer had and really catered our pitch and our idea to Agripur and their current needs and what the CFO would want. And we also took a look at the legal scope of the company. So the farms that we were working with were all based in Canada. So we also took a look at a few legislations based in Canada and how that would impact the company as well. And so just having that lens really helped us guide and really kind of was a yellow brick road to how we could uh, pitch our idea to make it make sense and to be straightforward. And 5 minutes is not a very long time. So being able to summarize information in a digestible state for someone whose background might not even be about sustainability. A lot of our CFOs these days, when they were in school, sustainability was not a topic of education for them. So being able to also remind them with a sustainability language. This year's case is very special. It's about nature, and you'll learn a little bit more about it later. But being able to know kind of the language being used within your pitch would really help you along the way. Transition risk, physical risk, ecosystem services, those are really great key terms that I would recommend everyone to study up on. And A4S has a really great resources to really guide you along the way on what those key terms are.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for sharing all those great insights. Thank you very much for joining us today, and congratulations again on winning the competition earlier this year. Very well deserved.